is easy living, it's easy to live when you're in love, and I'm so in love, there's nothing in life but you. I'll never regret the years I'm giving, they're easy to give when you're in love. I'm happy to do the things that I do for you. For you, baby, I'm a fool, but it's fun. People say you rule me with one wave of your hand. Darling, it's grand. They just don't understand that living for you is easy living, it's easy to live when you're in love, and I'm so in love, there's nothing in life but you. Living for you is easy living, it's easy to live when you're in love, and I'm so in love, there's nothing in life but you. I'll never regret the years I'm giving, they're easy to give when you're in love. I'm happy to do the things that I do for you. For you, baby, but it's fun. People say you rule me with one wave of your hand. Baby, it's grand. They just don't understand that living for you is easy living. It's easy to live when you're in love, and I'm so in love. There's nothing in life but you. When are you coming back to New Hampshire? I don't know. Probably next fall or something. We're planning to do a northwest thing early summer. So I don't know, East Coast. Probably gonna be a minute because we were just there. Hey James, thank you. Hey Mark, Mama Peg, always good to see ya. Oh, hey. Here's a song I just learned how to play. London by night is a wonderful sight. There is magic abroad in the air. I'm often told that the streets turn to gold when the moon shines on Circus and Square. Deep in the dark that envelops the park, there's romance in each cigarette's glow. Down by the Thames, light that sparkles like gems seem to wink at each girl and her boy. Up comes the moon when the city's asleep. He's not alone, for it seems somewhere up there sits an angel to keep her watch while each Londoner dreams. My love and I saw the sun leave the sky, then we kissed to the fast fading glow. Some people say they love London by day, but lovers love London by night. He's not alone, for it seems Somewhere up there stands an angel to keep her watch while each Londoner dreams. My love and I saw the sun leave the sky, then we kissed to the fast fading glow. Some people say they love London by day, but lovers love London by night. Sweet tune, right? Nice waltz. Thanks, Mark. Here's a song for you, Mark. Thanks so much, Etienne. But can you play with 2 fingers on the left hand? I actually can. I worked on it a little bit, so I can do some things. I'll play with your song, Mark, though. It's actually not. Possible. What are we gonna say? Oh yeah, here's a nice one. I could show the world how to smile. I could be glad all of the while. I could change the gray skies to blue if I had you. I could leave the old days behind, leave all my past, I'd never mind. I could start my life anew if I had you. I could climb a snow-capped mountain, sail the mighty ocean wide. I could cross the burning desert if I had you by my side. I could be a king, dear, uncrowned, humble or poor, rich or renowned. There is nothing I couldn't do if I had you. I could show the world how to smile. I could be glad all of the while. I could change the gray skies to blue if I had you. I could leave the old days behind, leave all my friends, I'd never mind. I could start my life anew if I had you. I could climb a snow-capped mountain, sail the mighty ocean wide. I could cross the burning desert if I had you by my side. I could be a king, dear, uncrowned, humble or poor, rich or renowned. There is nothing I couldn't do if I had you. Thanks, Rodrigo. Mark, I'm glad you dug the tutorials. You know, I like the tutor. I said I'd for sure demonstrate the 28 levels of jazz licks. You know, I've recently watched. Do you ever submit Marvin material to radio stations? Sure, yeah, we do. Do you do Paper Moon? No, I actually don't know that one. How's it go? How's it go? jazz out Toronto would be a good fit one day. I don't remember the bridge though. But to answer your question, no, I don't do that one. Yes, there. Sometimes I go through a thing where, because I know a lot of songs, but sometimes I kind of stop playing some, and then sometimes I'm like, man, why don't I learn new ones? So yesterday I learned 3. I learned London by Night, and then I learned this one, Put Your Dreams Away, that I've kind of been intending to learn for a while. But I will tell you something about learning new songs. Because I promised 28 levels of jazz, so let's just call this level 28 of jazz, even though it has nothing to do with jazz soloing. But the way to learn new songs is to take your Spotify, throw these things in your ears, and listen to the song you're trying to learn on repeat for 20, 30 times, beginning to end, without trying to learn anything. And pick a version. You can't learn the archetypal song. You can only learn a version, right? So a mistake is when because people play different harmonies, address the melody different ways. It's okay to learn your impression of the song from the version you're hearing. Think about it like you're trying to learn Master of Puppets. You're not looking for every cover band that ever did it. That's not a good example because jazz, is different than metal. But I'm saying there's still, the way you learn it might not be exact, even if what you're first doing is you're making a blueprint of the song in your memory, and that's just by confronting it. So listening to it again and again and again and again, it's not that intensive a process. Songs tend to be like 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, so you could be done with that process in 2 or 3 hours. But as you walk, just without trying to learn anything, without trying to, if you skip that part and go straight to like the play pause kind of thing with your computer or your phone, and try to just figure out the bass notes, figure out the chords, there's nothing. Your brain doesn't know. It's kind of like trying to do a puzzle without looking at the outside picture. You have no idea what you're trying to put together. So you need to have the big picture very, very solid before you attempt to take a look at the parts. And that's not a skippable part if you are, and it might seem like you're wasting time just listening to music like a bozo, like just a normal person, not a musician, but you're not. That makes everything quicker. You can take a 1 week yesterday I learned 3 songs that I really didn't know very well, like that London by Night. I didn't know the words. Yesterday, and again, listen. But again, I tell this to students, and I know that they skip it, because the fact, some of them do, some of them don't. But the fact is, if you have very few tunes memorized, it just means that you're not trying. People blame their memory, but are you really going through that process? Are you listening to something in a loop for 3 hours? Definitely do not skip that part. One song again and again and again. If it's something you actually want to learn, you won't be sick of it, and that's also a good indicator of whether it's something you really want to learn, because you won't be able to stomach doing that with something you don't want to learn. It'll be like, after like the 6th listen, you're gonna be like, that's disgusting. I never want to hear that again. How hard are those 2-finger Django runs? They're very easy for me and very hard for you. So it's music doesn't actually live on a scale of hard to easy. It lives on a scale of effortless to impossible. So if you practice it, it's effortless. If you don't, it's impossible. That's it's just an unfortunate reality of learning this stuff. Let's see. That's what I do. Thank goodness my fiance doesn't mind hearing all the same songs all the time. Also helps me write lines because the songs get stuck in my head after. Yeah, having a partner that's tolerant is key, for sure. Can you solo in harmonic minor? Sure I can. I do all the time. Harmonic minor is a very central part of gypsy jazz. You know, it's what, the fifth mode of harmonic minor is what you play on dominant chords. But there's not like, I don't have many solos. Well, it's actually not true. In Marvin, we have some like harmonic minor things like African chapter, Danny solo. That's like A harmonic. Most of these songs have changes, so harmonic minor is a really useful sound transitionally. It's like the tension part of a cadence. So if I'm playing, let's say I'm playing on an A7, a 5 chord going to D minor, so on that A7 I will play D harmonic minor, and then when I resolve, probably D Dorian. So that's a sound I use. So harmonic minor, Dorian. So yeah, there's a lot of I mean, our stuff has a ton of harmonic minor. It's the main thing we do on dominant chords. You know, coming out of gypsy jazz music and really Israeli music too. It's like it's the appropriate treatment of dominant chords that lead to minor chords. Later on in jazz, you know, Coltrane, Wayne Shorter, is a lot of melodic minor on dominant chords. That sound, as opposed to this sound. Thanks a lot for your staff from Belarus. Oh, I didn't know we have staff in Belarus, but hell yeah. So you probably play a lot of Phrygian. Phrygian, we have some. We don't have a lot. We have a song on third set that's modal in Phrygian called, what's it called? It's been a long time. I forgot. But on the Sid Yiddish Part 2 on our new album is basically... That's Phrygian. Sid 5. That's a Phrygian melody. Not Phrygian dominant, that's just Phrygian. That's like... yeah, Phrygian dominant is just that fifth mode of harmonic minor. So it's all in there. Anyway, back to jazz tunes. Put your dreams away for another day, and I will take their place in your heart. Wishing on a star never got you far, and so it's time to make a new start. When your dreams at night fall before you, I will have the right to adore you. Let your kiss confess this is happiness, darling, and put away your dreams at night. All right, favorite approach to soloing over minor 2/5/1s. So, yeah, What? You don't like minor 2-5-1s? Everybody likes minor 2-5-1s. All right, so I mean, easy way is to ignore the two chords, right? Because if you're playing a 2-5-1 in C minor, D half diminished, G7, C minor, then that 2 and the 5 are both modal, right, to the key of the C harmonic minor. So if you want to play Phrygian dominant on both, it gives you like a Locrian with natural 6 on the D, which is a fine sound. People don't do that a whole lot, you know, but so that's fine to just go. I think in gypsy jazz, the real essential thing to the sound is resolving to something with a natural 6 when you get to the cadence, when you get to the minor chord, right after. I mean, when the cadence resolves. So you want to go to C Dorian or C melodic minor. Right. But that's really treating it like a 5-1. If you really want to play it like a 2-5-1, again, it's nothing new. It's what everybody does. So on the 2 chord, you can play Locrian 9, Locrian natural 9, which is the 6th mode of melodic minor. So it's like playing F melodic minor on the D, half diminished. You get that sound. And then G altered on the G, and resolving to maybe C melodic minor. So now you have a sound that goes like. Right, so. Now in the context of like a full. That kind of thing. Phrygian dominant, also called Phrygish, is used for a lot of traditional Jewish and Arabic music. That's right, they stole it from the Jews though. So David, I mean those tend to be the kinds of sounds you see a lot. In gypsy jazz, what you really see is like that Phrygian dominant harmonic minor, but the sharp 9 is added. So it's really on the G7s, this is the sound, but they add. Yeah. Can you play Symmetric Diminished in gypsy jazz style? Sure, they play it all the time. I mean, major 2-5-1s. On minor, Symmetric Diminished sounds really weird. So, ordered the VIP today. Oh, that's awesome, dude. That was a great choice. Great choice, Chris. You're gonna love this album. VIP package at marvinmusic.bandcamp.com/merch. You get to download the new album today in front of everybody else. It's not going to be in streaming for a while. It's the best album we've ever made. But yeah, so Symmetric Diminished. Let's say I have a 2-5-1 to C. It really gives you that sound of on the G of like a 13 flat 9 and also a 13 like that sound that usually belongs to altered. A good way to think about symmetric diminished is that it's gonna give you a tritone substitution of the 5 chord with a sharp 9. Usually a tritone substitution is a natural 9 if it's coming from altered. But right, so G13 becomes D7 sharp 9. And that's gonna pick up a chord book from GB student. What? I'm so ready to go back on my shit. Gonna pick up the chord book from GB student. What's GB student? That's the Barry Harris method, right? Yeah, no, Barry listen, Barry Harris is like a guru, like Osho for jazz musicians. He's just preying on people with like a mystic vibe. Yeah, that's like jazz guru stuff. And it's so confused and confusing when you listen to him talk. I mean, I don't know. Did anybody here ever listen to a Barry Harris album? Try. Before you go into the method, right? There's a lot of things that have method in them that are not good methods, like the pull-out method, right? Like Barry Harris method. I don't know, man. Listen to a Barry Harris album, and then listen to an Oscar Peterson album. I think Oscar Peterson has a different method, right? George Benson. Oh, dude. Yeah, the George Benson guy. I don't know why you'd buy those books. I mean, I do love watching Peter's online videos, mainly because of his accent. He did say some of my favorite jazz instructional advice, which was, arpeggios are the shit, man, because they're made of turds. Major turds are the shit. Arpeggios are the shit, man. They're not made of seconds. Seconds weak interval. They're made of turds. Yeah, that's funny. Anyways, yeah. Anybody who's telling you that there's a method to the madness is, it's given you a crock of shit, because it's not a method. What happens is you just learn a bunch of things and you accumulate. Also, a guy like the George Benson guy, Peter Farrell. I mean, you get into a weird space where the dude is a clone, like, and he keeps saying he's not a clone, but he has the George Benson method. He's standing in a room of guitar filled with like George Benson guitars. He sounds exactly like George Benson, and yeah, it's kind of like being John Malkovich kind of galaxy. I don't know. Like, I guess if you want to sound exactly like him, listen to the dude. But that is not the point of this thing. This is really misunderstanding the journey, man. He jazz. Is that a scale that sounds Middle Eastern? Listen, with all due respect to microtonal music and all of the Middle East and their own music, and as a Middle Eastern man, I can tell you that you gotta leave that cave dwelling side of theory to that part of the world and learn how to fucking play on a B flat 7, right? Nobody gives a shit about that stuff. Like, you just gotta learn how to play over songs with changes. Yeah. One gypsy player who does YouTube instruction says he never practiced scales. Let's see. My bestie is Arabic. That's okay. I'm Israeli. It's like, that's part of the world has their own kinds of music. It's not applicable. So let's see. Can you play any song from Django, please? Why not? Do you like Sylvie and Luke? Oh. Okay, baby head. There we go. Balance. I want my name to do that? What do you mean? Sylvie and Luke is bananas. Yeah, Sylvie and Luke's pretty good. I don't know. I never was the biggest fan. It's stuff. I mean, I guess I'm kind of in the same boat of somebody who went pretty wide with, especially my likes. So I can understand he likes a lot of things, but yeah, he had he had some interesting things. Good guitar playing. Yeah, but yeah. Let's see. I study Islam, inshallah. I have a sitar. I play some. That's all good, man. I'm not talking shit about that in general. I'm just saying if you're a lot of people that don't know how to play over a 2-5-1 and can't figure out a melodic minor mode to save their life are trying to apply Hijaz, right? So it's just so esoteric and unrelated to where most people are in their progress. If you want to play over songs and you want to play over forms and you want to play over grooves, that's it's such a small compartment that is somewhat applicable sometimes. So yeah. So that's the idea. Hey, John. Oh, hey, baby. Hey, baby. So the idea is to focus on what's going to get you better quick, right? Okay, Ethan asked something. I want my name to do that. Someone like the album? Well, what are you? Harmonic minor. Harmonic minor over a major 2-5-1. That wouldn't be your first choice. Harmonic minor tends to lead to a minor 2-5-1. Symmetric diminished is something you would apply to that 5 chord, right? So it's like lines like. Right, so it's lines like that. To get to the 2 chord in a 2-5-1, like the 6 dominant, the 5 of 2, that's harmonic minor. The baby does not like symmetric diminished, never has. Alright, the baby likes songs. If I don't sing songs, she wakes up and then we're all fucked. What do you think of the idea of just learn riffs based on arpeggios? Scales are not important. I think that comes from people, the people who promote that idea that are good at playing in spite of the mess that's happening inside their brain about music, not because of it, which is impressive, right? Listen, if you're going to play jazz, if you're going to play and really try to figure it out and listen to the best players all the time and work on your technique, eventually you'll figure out how to play whether you know this stuff or not, whatever approach you take. It's bound to happen unless you're a real sad, talentless dope. Most people can figure it out. It's a matter of time and dedication. But you can figure it out in a way that makes sense, or you can figure it out in a way that doesn't make sense. Modes are the most zoomed out perspective. Scales are the most zoomed out perspective that exists for seeing harmony play out. Zoomed out in the sense that they give you all the available notes. They are not good at discerning the notes that sound good in a moment from the notes that don't sound as good. They weed out the notes that sound terrible, right? You don't want to hit any flat 6s on a major 7 chord, or flat 7s or flat 2s. But they're not so good at like putting that, let's say, 4th degree in a separate pile, that void note. Arpeggios, when you're choosing specific substitutions, are a zoomed in thing that might give you a very specific sound that surgically works for every place in harmony. But if you just have that perspective, you don't really have the big picture of what your options are. So that's the reason to learn modes, is to have a place to nest your arpeggio vision inside, if that makes sense. It's that middle perspective between just seeing the chromatic scale and seeing your substitutions. They all belong to a family, so you need to know all the stuff. I mean, it's like a lot of people. It's like, which way, which way should I go home? It's like, well, eventually all the ways, unless you're like a super OCD person. Dorian diminished to Superlocrian would be good over a 2-5-1. Dorian and Superlocrian is altered, right? So Dorian to altered is fine. Yeah, all these things are fine. Scales help me to learn my locations. Yeah, it helps. But what entails all the stuff? All the options, all the things that sound good on chords. That's all the stuff. I saw your video on reststroke picking. It is really helping my picking. Oh, you're very welcome, John. Yeah, that takes a long time to develop, to have some facility to where you actually have freedom. Okay. Triad pairs have a nice sound. Yeah, I mean, triad pairs give you 6 of the 7 notes in a mode. And you could always, use the, again, it's just choosing a set of substitutions in a context. So yeah, there are good ways and bad ways of using it. Question about writing songs and chords. For example, in summertime, it's A minor 6, B minor 6 for the first few measures. I like to play E7 with B in the bass instead, which is, if you're just playing E7 with no tensions, you're basically playing a B minor 6, right? Just sounds better to me. If I wrote that myself, how would I know to write B minor instead of E7? Like when you're doing different voicing, how would you determine the true chord to write for the chart? Well, that has more to do with harmonic rhythm. So even in a song like Summertime, the places in time that B minor appears, right? Whatever key you played in, that you can think about it like a B minor 6 or an E7, is what you got to ask yourself is that an essential part of the harmony, or the melody be totally okay without it, right? So so that song, if I were to write a chart as simply as it could be, would just be 1 4 minor 5 1 going to 1 flat 3 major 5 1. There's nothing to that song other than that. Now the other things you got to ask yourself, okay, so how, well, first of all, maybe how do I know that has to do with where things are in time. But the function of that B minor, which is a part of the arrangement, I agree, and you can really make that a specific thing. Like what I really like in like Louis Armstrong's music is that they really play an A minor 6 to a B minor 6, right? They make that, and then on that B minor 6, it really makes that melodic minor sound, second mode of melodic minor, like a Dorian flat 9. But still, that the function of that B minor 6 there is to pull you back to A minor, right? It goes, or to connect to A minor first inversion. So when you have chords like that, they're highly substitutable. There's a lot of things you can do instead, like E7, right? Summertime and the living is easy. Or tritone sub B flat 7. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping. But you gotta understand, I guess, the crucial chords in a tune that really support the harmony, or support the melody. The harmony supports the melody, from the extra chords that are just meant to walk around and ornament, right? Triad pairs are sweet. Yes, triad pairs are sweet. Frangambali said that he thinks a vamp on the 4 or 5 chord of a mode gives you a good character of the mode. That's very true. But that's not always your go-to. Melodic minor is a good example for, melodic minor is organized in a way where you have 2 minor chords next to each other, 2 dominant chords next to each other, and 2 half diminished chords next to each other. So you could use any of those as triad pairs, and they're easy to visualize. So let's say I want an E altered sound. What I can do is alternate between using, let's say, a D half diminished and an E half diminished. that pair, I'm thinking about F melodic minor. It's the 6th chord and the 7th chord. They're both in that key. Or in F melodic minor, B flat 7 and C7. On in that E root. Right? Yeah. Modes don't really resolve, though. No, modes don't resolve. You have to resolve the modes. It's resolving is something a human being does. Modes are a tool, right? Hammers don't drive nails. The diminished altered relationship is amazing. Yeah, you know, I'm guessing you're talking diminished, altered. I guess I'm not sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about like the tritone sub in the altered scale, then I understand. Diminished altered relationship. What do you mean by diminished altered relationship? Like in the diminished scale? Because altered mode does not relate to any diminished chords. Diminished chords don't exist inside melodic minor. They only exist in diminished scale, harmonic minor, and harmonic major. Stars shining bright above you, night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree, dream a little dream of me. Say nighty-night and kiss me, just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me, while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, just craving your kiss. I'm planning to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams the sunbeams find you, sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Shining bright above you. Gotta hook up my computer before it dies. One sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry, baby. There we go. All right. Okay. Damn. Why didn't I go to Berkeley? Because you have a brain and you care about keeping your own money. The tritone substitution relationship, the use of dominant chords which allows them to be used over the chord itself. Yeah. I guess, tritone substitutions only exist within the context of melodic minor and diminished scale. But they're a different kind of tritone substitution because of the tensions involved, right? So in altered, you get like a 3-note dominant chord for altered without a fifth. with like flat 13, all the tensions, right? Flat 9, sharp 9, flat 13, sharp 11. And then it's tritone substitution is the Lydian dominant, which is like with a 9, sharp 11, and 13. But in diminished, you get, one sharp 9 chord becomes the next sharp 9. One sharp 11 becomes, so you can like go from a G7 sharp 11 to a D flat 7 sharp 11. From a G7 sharp 9 to a D flat 7 sharp 9. G7 flat 9, D7 flat 9. So you can go from a chord to the same kind of quality because it is totally symmetric. I gotta tell you, Chris, I've graduated with a lot of people at the same time from Berkeley. Most of them did not turn out so well in terms of music. Not to toot my own horn, but it's not. If it was Berkeley, you'd see a whole lot more good players because they pump out, I'm guessing, about 5,000 people per year into the world, and I have not been witnessing a jazz renaissance. I don't know if you have. I certainly am not noticing if that's happening. There are a lot. There are more YouTubers than ever. Some people that have titles like this video, but for real, like that mean it. They try to make jazz like a computer game. 17 levels of jazz soloing, cheat codes for jazz fatalities. Actually, jazz fatalities I just thought of, and I think that's precious. I'm feeling mighty lonesome. I haven't slept a wink. I walk the floor and watch the door, and in between I drink black coffee. Life's a hand-me-down brew. I'll never know a Sunday in this old weekday room. Talking to the shadows from 1 o'clock till 4, and Lord, how slow the moments go, and all I do is pour black coffee. Since the blues caught my eye, I'm hanging out on Monday, my Sunday dreams to dry. Now man is born to go out loving, a woman's born to weep and fret, to stay at home and tend her oven, and drown her past regrets in coffee and cigarettes. I'm mooning through the morning through the night, and in between it's nicotine and not much heart to fight. Black coffee, feeling low as the ground. It's driving me crazy, just waiting for my baby to maybe come around. to go out loving, a woman's born to weep and fret, to stay at home and tend her oven, and drown her past regrets in coffee and cigarettes. I'm mooning through the morning, morning through the night, and in between it's nicotine and not much heart to fight. Black coffee, feeling low as the ground. It's driving me crazy, just waiting for my baby to maybe come around. All right. I'm really enjoying this. I am self-taught singer-songwriter who has actually been working on the Mamas and Papas tune for a long time, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Thank you very much. David Fisher, what's the Mamas and the Papas tune? I don't even know. Those get whacked, some of those instructors with those types of titles. Just give me the sheet music and I'll be on my way. Yeah, you know, it's a weird, can anyone in the chat let me know if the baby is asleep? My first time here and I don't know the story. The baby is currently asleep. The baby's loving it. This is Hannah. She's a great baby. Do you know Blues in the Night? I don't. I think the worst title was a guy who does guitar mastery talking about the alternate picking. Clickbait titles are so cringe. Yeah, you know. I mean, honestly, I hate to say this because I'm on YouTube currently, but YouTube is a distraction. It's not the way to learn. Everybody's like making it seem like, you know, just a little bit more information is what you need. But what you need is time with the instrument in your hand. It's uninterrupted with all the screens off. It's horrible that that's the case. It shouldn't be that way. But it's just that hands-on time. It's worked for millennia, right? Just that's how you get good. You just play your instrument, you think about it, you do it seriously, you do it with good information. But it's not just downloading information into your brain, right? Mamas and the Papas, Dream a Little Dream of Me. Oh, I did not know they have a version of that. Gotcha. Well, yeah, I'll show you a different song that's pretty good. How about this one? Tell me what you think about this, David. We had our little drama. We kissed in a field of white, and stars fell on Alabama last night. I can't forget your glamour. Your eyes held a tender light, and stars fell on Alabama last night. I never planned in my imagination a situation so heavenly, a fairy tale where no one else could enter, and in the center, just you and me. My heart beats like a hammer, my arms wound around you tight, and stars fell on Alabama last night. We had our little drama. We kissed in a field of white, and stars fell on Alabama last night. My wife was doing like a, what do you call it? Ballet. What's a ballet move? Perrier. Perrier. That's the water.
That's the water.
A plie. That's it. Have you studied any Charlie Christian?
Are you getting off soon?
Yes. It's time to get off, according to the wife. Let's see. I played guitar to my wife's womb.
Hi. Hi, baby. It's time to get off. It's family time.
All right. It's family time. See you guys.